The server slam has ended. And with it, the marathon cope is at an all-time high. Boys, I have never seen anything like this before. What a time to be alive. Numbers don't matter, reviews don't matter, feedback doesn't matter, viewers don't matter, nothing matters. Because everything is evil and people are just hating on Marathon for absolutely no reason. Well, unless obviously it's a positive review, in which case it's obviously true, real, and not cope in the slightest. It is absolute insanity what currently is happening. Paul Tassi is learning to not tie knots and spending a strange amount of time in nature between trees. It is something new. My god, it has never been this bad before.
I'm convinced a petition should be started to shut down SteamDB. We should not be allowed to see player counts for any game anymore, nor how many are viewing on Twitch.
Don't be a pussy.
Cobra Kai never lies, baby.
What's up, space pirates? This is your admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster. And holy shit, the desperation concerning Marathon that we are seeing from all of the Bungie butt-kissers out there has been pretty damned hilarious.
Oh, is that your ass? Oh, closer to the hole, sir?
They have been panicking over the fact that the player count for the server slam of Marathon has been falling off precipitously.
Player count, streamers, everything is falling off. Like, Marathon experienced a 50% drop in the second day. It didn't even have good statistics. It didn't. Typically, games go up until, well, if it's really good, until 2 a.m. in night when a game releases. Marathon didn't have that, needless to say. It started falling off before 10 p.m. That is horrible. I think Concord did... Concord probably did slightly worse than that. I'm pretty sure High God did better than that in any case. And on Saturday and Sunday, it didn't even get a new peak. It is truly horrible. And keep in mind, this is free. This is free. And after it's gonna cost money. I'd rather give Blizzard my money at this point than Concord. Oh my lord.
Over the weekend, which is the exact opposite of what you would hope for and expect to see for what amounts to a free demo for a major AAA game being released in just a few days. On Thursday, when access to the server slam first opened up, they landed at 143,000 concurrent players at its max, and I expected that over the weekend that number would go up a little, but instead they dropped off.
Yeah, I did not expect that. Granted, I did expect roughly around 100k, 110k people max. It did get more, which was interesting. Rarely that happens. Usually it's less. Usually it's between the average and the highest number I call. But this got more. That's pretty shocking to begin, honestly. Well, it's not that shocking considering High God got 100k, and this thing has, Bungie fanboy written all over it, you need to understand. But man, everything else, it was clear. It was clear at the end of day one that it's probably not reaching a new high. Again, which every good game should.
On Friday, this peak here was at about 84,000 players. On Saturday, they hit about 76,000, and yesterday it fell even more. They maxed out at a little over 64,000 players.
I'm fucking dying!
Bro.
But what is really humorous is watching the reactions from all of these...
No, what is really actually humorous about Marathon is just the game itself. Look at this! Like, this is in-game. Why? Why do I have these strange bars around? Why does everything look like ants? Well, what the hell is with the lighting? What is with everything here, okay? It's just bad. It's just bad. It's very unlikable. My favorite cope, admittedly, is the fact, oh, Marathon's a very specialized game. It's for a very niche group. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's supposed to be the new Destiny. It's supposed to hit as many people as possible. Oh boy, Bungie is dead.
Corporate butt kissers as they squirm, as the numbers nosedive. The reaction from a lot of them is that SteamDB, which allows us to see the concurrent level of players for a particular game, they're saying that SteamDB should not be allowed to show player counts. This jackass here, for example, wrote, Steam play.
Oh, wow. So unexpected. Wow. I mean, who would have expected that that's a Marathon fan? Wow.
Player count being
Well, I say Marathon fan, but everyone here knows that Marathon was not even installed.
public is the worst thing to happen to gaming in recent times. And then this jackass here wrote on X,
After seeing the millionth post about Steam numbers, I'm convinced a petition should be started to shut down SteamDB. We should not be allowed to see player counts for any game anymore, nor how many are viewing on Twitch.
and I just want to point out that it seems
Okay, you can start the petition, but even if it gets 1 billion signatures, that's not gonna actually change anything.
to me that the only people who want to avoid transparency would be people with something to hide. The only reason they dislike SteamDB is because
You made me look bad!
And that brings me to this here, the first place where players have had the opportunity to give direct feedback to Marathon is on the PlayStation
Say what you will, but the PlayStation Store sometimes absolutely just is the most hilarious thing ever.
Network. And as you can see from this post, things are not going well for Marathon there. This person wrote,
Review bombing the server slam on the PlayStation Store is a different.
Remember, review bombing only exists one way. It's when you dislike something, okay? You know what's my favorite part about all this shit is, by the way? That these people unironically seem to believe the idea that someone just makes a post about a game being bad, and this game is actually really good, and everyone really actually likes it, including the person who posted this, and then the majority of the world just decides to be like, oh yeah, you know what, I actually like this game a lot, but man, we really need to say that we hate it for no reason, right? And let's all just now pretend that we hate it even though we love it. This is what these people unironically believe. They literally believe that most of the world likes the game. It's good, in fact, even though no one can answer what's good about it, per se. And they believe that people are just gonna hate on it for hating reasons while actually liking it a lot. It is so wild.
Level of hate.
and that's right, folks, it's just review bombing. It's always just review bombing. It can never be that people just don't like a product. Big corporate slop is actually just always really loved by most people, and it's just evil, hateful chuds who would dare to give it a negative score. It never even dawns on these clowns that there could.
God, I absolutely hate everything about Marathon's design. It is the most genetic thing that anyone could ever create. It's soulless, it's lifeless. And yes, I know, there's gonna be people, though, it was supposed to be soulless and lifeless. Well, if it's supposed to be soulless and lifeless, then don't be surprised if you make such a niche shit that people are gonna not like it. What do you expect? It's so soulless and lifeless, it looks bad on every level. It's plain, the colors are bad, the fonts are bad. Everything about this is just unlikable. Everything about the aesthetic is just bad. My god, like, if people existed in the Marathon universe, they would have already ended it because, wow, this is bad.
Be a proper dissenting opinion for a game like Marathon, their worldview is truly well described by this famous clip.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for
Well,
next
new
product.
Yeah. Oh, boys. It is what it is.
Alright, me hearties, the people who need it to be true that games like Marathon are a massive success really dislike all of the places where feedback can be given by gamers. They hate all the venues that gamers have available to them for feedback. They miss the days when the mainstream media could simply dictate something to the masses.
It's so ugly.
And we just had to swallow it up because there was no way to counter the narrative. SteamDB is a light in the darkness, so to speak, on this front. It is a glimpse as to how well a game is performing.
I do love my SteamDB, not gonna lie.
And these clowns simply can't stand that. The same way that they dislike feedback for their entertainment unless it conforms to their worldview. In the case of Marathon on PSN, that has not been the case though. This article from Tech for Gamers, which I will be linking in the description, talks about it here. The head
Yeah, you need to, by the way, understand how bad is anything that gets pretty much below a 4 out of 5 on PlayStation Network. You need to understand, if anything gets below a 4 out of 5 on PlayStation Network, it's not even a game. It is really bad.
Line says Marathon Beta gets rated 3.04 out of 5 on PSN, lower than Concord
Players are calling it a waste of a download.
and Dustborn. Bungie's Marathon has faced a lot of ups and downs since its announcement and rework over the last year. While the game's high pre-launch sales painted a bright picture for its future, the onslaught of negative PSN reviews is now...
I miss Dustborn, okay? I miss the idea that there's literally an option called triggered and then you pop off and be racist to white people. It was at least funny.
Suggesting the complete opposite. The team launched an open beta for Marathon to stress test its servers, but its reviews are at only 3.0.
Oh, by the way, Paul Tassi is also currently lying and saying, "Oh, we don't know how much PlayStation and Bungie are expecting Marathon to actually get player numbers." I can tell you exactly, 300,000 concurrent people. I can tell you exactly. Again, Marathon's supposed to be the new Destiny. So, the number would be 300,000 people minimum. There you go. Pretty easy. Okay? The new the Destiny replacer is not supposed to get less concurrent players than Destiny. And Destiny was considered dead and Bungie pretty much gave up on it when it reached around 50k concurrent players. Yeah, Marathon's already there at launch. So, I wonder if they're just gonna shut down Marathon. But I don't think that that's going to happen because, like, what does Bungie have? I talked about this previously because people were speculating that Marathon's going to get canned. I mean, with all the problems, with all the hate it got, rightfully so, obviously, that it's gonna get canceled. And I said that no, that's not happening. Marathon is never getting canceled. I even if this thing launches to 10k concurrent players when it's time to actually buy that shit, it's not gonna get canceled because this was Bungie's last thing. All right, Into the Light, or whatever it was called, was a disaster. It undersold tremendously, which was, by the way, the thing we expected because we saw the numbers, and the numbers, how people aggregated them, were on point. So I gave my stamp of approval, and boys, my stamp of approval matters a lot, okay? Fist bump, boop! Anyway, speaking about tacos and stepsisters, I forgot what I was about to say. Oh yeah, Marathon's not going to get cancelled because Bungie has given up on Destiny. All the marketing budget is in Marathon now, and where marketing is, where the industry is, where the game is, where the company is. And considering it's all in Marathon now, good luck. Good luck. So they're not going to cancel Marathon. It's going to come out, and it's going to survive for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, until they decide to shut down servers. Unless it legitimately gets like 3k concurrent players in the first month, which is actually very possible. Now, granted, I think Marathon's minimum is going to be like 10K players, and it's going to be a very niche slop thing to the Bungie super fans. Maybe, who knows? Maybe less. Probably less, but it's kind of hard to say how less is it gonna be, and especially in proportion to how less it needs to get to it actually getting canceled and shut down in a year or 2 or 3. And what happens after that? Bungie has nothing. Marathon was their last saving grace, their last sting. They had nothing after Destiny. Destiny was on its way out, and then they had nothing. That's why they never canceled this thing. And I called all of it, by the way.
4 stars as of this writing. It is a lower rating than some of PlayStation's worst offerings, including Concord's 3.5 and Dustborn's 3.84 score on the platform. Why it matters. Many players say Bungie has missed the mark with Marathon. The current rating on PSN shows that many users are simply unhappy with the game's art direction and gameplay mechanics. The global PSN scores currently include over 13,119 ratings, while 40% of them are 5-star reviews. A concerning 38% of players have given the lowest rating instead. The more troubling part for the studio is that most of these negative reviews don't detail temporary technical server issues that can be fixed in the future. Many players
Did Marathon have server issues? I never heard of that.
are unhappy with its art direction and overall gameplay mechanics, which Bungie spent over a year fixing. Some have called it an abysmal experience and a waste of download because of its art direction. Those who liked the color palette are unhappy with gameplay mechanics instead, so the overall player opinion is pretty divided. And yes,
That is hilarious.
the game's mechanics look uninspired, not much different at all from the
Oh, the sass.
gameplay that we were seeing last year, and the art is just
By the way, I am 100% also sure that the door opening animation,
at all from the
this,
gameplay
is either a free asset, or they're reusing it, or they stole it from somewhere.
that we were seeing last year, and the art is just corporate slop. Who in the hell is this supposed to appeal to? It appears to just be ugly on purpose. I'm not sure what crowd they thought they were chasing after with that art style, but it seems to be in a similar vein to Concord, so no, it isn't surprising at all to see this game struggling in the first space, where people are allowed to give feedback on the game. But the shills are out in force trying to change the perception for the game. Here is the headline from Insider Gaming. It says, Marathon's server slam didn't gain traction this weekend,
Popped some Titans? Jesus Christ, I haven't even seen this.
but it still topped some Titans. And in the article, and I'm not even shitting you here, but they're bragging that they had higher player counts than Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty, as if that is impressive.
Oh boy, beating Call of Duty, that's impressive. One thing that actually annoys me the most about these shills and their stupidity is how many people are being like, "Oh, look at this! It's the best in the sales." You understand? It's third in the sales. It's losing to Counter-Strike and Silent Kill F or Resident Evil 9, one of the two. And you understand, it's third in it's losing to, I think it was Resident Evil 9. Yeah, it was Resident Evil 9. It's losing to Resident Evil 9 and Counter-Strike. You understand how bad that is. Because Concord's only competition currently is Resident Evil 9. Everything else is a Fugazi. Also, wish lists. Wish lists don't fucking matter. These sales don't matter. Because I am 100% certain that there are groups of people at this point who get like, I don't know, 10, 20k extra pre-purchases, and then they cancel them. Because they are invested in the culture war aspect of this, which seems to be massive and retarded, obviously. And tiresome, above everything else, which is probably the most important part. And that's one thing. And two, again, it literally has no competition. Resident Evil 9 is a good game, and it's going to sell like 2 million copies over the upcoming year. But 2 million copies is not a lot. You need to understand that. That's not good. I'm sorry, but that's actually not. Well, actually, it's probably going to sell 4 million copies or something like that. But you need to understand that's not good for Marathon. It's a $40 game, and it probably costed at least 200 million to make. Okay, so let's imagine Marathon sells 2 million copies. How much is 2 million times 40? Well, not a lot, 80 million. So they're not even halfway dead living on a prayer. And that's not counting taxes, that's not counting Steam, that's not counting this, and it's not counting the resurrection of Jesus at this point. It is insane. Okay? So, they're never getting it. And again, 200 million to create Marathon. I'm being kind of nice here because this thing has been in the oven shitting itself for a very long time. And Bungie's AAA developer that, well, I don't think Bungie can make anything below 350 million at this point.
Featuring Marathon was an advertisement, so keep that context in mind as we watch.
Did they up the player count? Because I feel like I'm running into way more players already.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I wanted to say this at the start of the video. Marathon also is marketing itself and selling itself as the PvP experience because Arc Raiders were pussies, obviously. Not that they have dedicated PvP lobbies, but you know, that who cares, right? Who cares, Chud? Marathon is supposed to be this hardcore, dedicated PvP game where people did not run into other players. It was very rare that people ran up into other players. Marathon released their statistics and there were something like 4 times more deaths than people killed, which is insane.
That's a great change if they did. You know, one thing that no one's talking about that Marathon's doing is the devs are immediately fixing and changing shit, which is a big deal. Like, everyone's just hating, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh, bro, I've already crashed out once on them.
Yes, Tim the Fat Man, it's true.
Today.
Everyone's just hating, like, no one's gonna address the fact, oh, they put a buff in for more players, so there's more players in the map. They fixed the cursor bug, you know, little things.
Oh, you know how it is. I was telling Chad, it's just like how all the games came out. Like, even whenever Tarkov had its time, whenever games, even like Arc Raiders, who's having a ton of success right now, came out, everyone was shitting on it. Oh, it's a Tarkov.
Remember how they disabled the ability to write Arc Raiders? And then they re-abled it? But then they disabled the ability to write I love Arc Raiders? It's the most pathetic shit ever. It's great. It's absolutely great. Yeah, I'm not gonna take anyone like Tim the Tatman seriously. I'm not gonna take anyone. These people don't care. They're literally doing a promotion. Dr. Disrespect is lying that he got in the promotion list. So I don't care about the opinions of the sellouts, okay? But boys, when I become a sellout, you're supposed to say, "Great one, Quasar, what a great sellout." I mean, not a sellout. You get the point, okay? Because we're different. In any case, a 10 out of 10. That was a Dr. Disaster. Oh, bye.